Okay. What if I told you that I could heal you right now? I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm going to heal you.
You know, I feel like I'm coming down with a sore throat or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
How does that feel? Does it help? Are you healed?
I feel something.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's total BS.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought I was going to burp.
So today, we are going to talk about touch therapy.
Okay.
Which is a type of therapy in which you heal somebody just by hovering your hands over them.
Oh.
So
okay.
Buckle up because, get that buckles on because we're going to have a lot of fun talking about touching.
You're gonna have a field day with this
one.
I'm
gonna have such a field day with this one. Oh yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to our show! Woo-hoo! And this is officially episode 1 of volume 2. We did have our recap episode.
Oh, that doesn't count?
Well, this is like the intro. Let's count. Okay, this is episode 2. It wasn't really... We put a lot of work into that one.
Volume 2. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yes.
Yes, we are back.
And who are
better
we?
Than ever. We are Big Spoon.
Little Spoon.
And we're going to talk about some not so random topics nowadays.
Yep.
Because we have so many awesome submissions from you guys. Thank you very much. This one has actually for touch therapy was a submission by a friend of mine, Blake. And I had met him playing Elder Scrolls Online.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were D&D friends.
Well, I think it's kind of like D&D, but like on a computer.
Elder Scrolls on. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I played Skyrim. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know the other ones.
So he had sent me quite a few submissions. And this is one of them that I feel like would be fun to talk about. And one of them is also, you're a
you're a physical
therapist.
Yeah. So touch therapy. So I'm actually a physical therapist by day. If you were to give me a title, it would actually be doctor. I usually don't throw that out there that much, but it's true. And so I at least have a medical background and can talk about some of the science behind this stuff and why it's not real.
And I like massages.
Yes, exactly. So can you pull up the original quote by Blake? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, okay. It's got it on my phone here. So Blake, thanks again for sending us your submission here. So your comment on here, and this is a great way to just kind of intro to this, is load of crap or crap load of good. I love that. Thank you. That was great. How can you heal someone by hovering your hands over them and projecting your good vibes into their achy bits? I just like achy bits. Can you really learn this by taking a weekend class? Loads of nurses around the country have offered this since the 60s or 70s. Basically, while a doctor or physical therapist is actually helping a patient, the TT, as they call it, nurse hovers over their hands over the patient or someplace else, and she gets money for just standing around. Where can you take these classes?
So for most of the medical field,
I want to get paid to do this.
Well, first, I don't know if you can just go. Well, you know what?
Can I come to your place and just be like,
you want to come to my clinic one day and see? So, so for most of the medical field, right, you have to take continuing education-based courses. So things to just broaden your knowledge base or keep you up to date with what's current, right? So when he does say can you really learn this in a weekend course? Yes, you can. In fact, most things that you learn post schooling, post degree, whatever, You learn in these quick, it could be 3 days, it could be 4 days, but it's usually like a short weekend type course.
Okay.
So I totally buy that part of it.
Yeah.
The problem is the claims of everything else that this does, including curing cancer.
Oh, so is that one of those things where like they just have someone go like that and there's like, look, I pulled out a chicken leg. This was your cancer.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. I just remember seeing something where someone like was disproven because like they would push their body into like their belly and just be like this. Like the cancer is like here or something, and there's like,
oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? It's like magic. Yeah.
So there are clinicians out there that believe that all the nerves in the body are connected, which in a sense, yes, they are, and actually believe that by working on your foot or your stomach or something like that, you can heal something somewhere else in the body, your head, your shoulders, whatever. A lot of that is balderdash. Some of it does have a ring of truth. Yes, it's true. Most of the muscular connections in your body or nerve connections are there. They exist. All of your soft tissue is connected in some way, shape, or form, but not to that degree. For example, with a lot of my patients, if I'm working on their hip, I'm also working on their knee and their ankle. There's a lot of crossover in tissues, and sometimes correcting a limitation in range of motion, let's say in their ankle, is going to help with their gait, which will take pressure off of their hip.
So some people will say, like, if you have like bad shoes, usually flat shoes, that tends to cause problems with your back because you're not walking with your correct arch.
It can, yes. Again, it's situational.
Yeah.
Not everybody falls into that paradigm, but there are plenty of folks out there that do.
Okay.
So touch therapy, the basic sense is that you're just taking your hands and you're hovering them over somebody and giving good vibes.
Touch them though?
No, not in touch therapy. Now there are similar things. So a lot of people at home might be thinking about Reiki right now, which is a similar idea. But I do believe with Reiki, and if you know more about this, please let me know. But I believe with Reiki, you're actually putting your hand. So if you could roll up your sleeve for me, right? The difference is with touch therapy, I'm just hovering my hands over here and giving you good vibes right now. Okay. With Reiki,
I'm not feeling your good vibes. This is actually Reiki, ouch. This hurts.
I'm sorry, I broke you. So with Reiki, the idea is to try and bring energy into your hands, and transfer that energy to your body.
Ooh, that's cold.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not good at transferring energy to my hands. So most Reiki people will think that it feels warm or something like that.
But you know what though? Like there's pressure. I feel pressure.
So give me your arm.
Yeah.
If you told me you had a problem with your arm, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm actually going to massage it out.
That feels really good.
It does feel really good.
Can we just continue doing this for the whole episode?
Sure, I can do this for a couple minutes here.
No, that's cool.
So what I'm actually... Oh, dude, you have a knot like right there.
I know.
You feel that?
How?
That tissue. That's muscle
adhesion. What is that? What is that?
It's muscle adhesion. It's like tension inside of
oh my
tissue.
Gosh. Whoa.
Is that too much?
No, it's good though. Keep going.
You spend a lot of time at your computer?
Oh man, I mean, like lately I have
Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, I mean, I wish, but it's been writing up the D&D campaign.
Okay.
But also at work, I'm always on the computer. That's why I have my glasses too.
Yeah, this is really tight.
Wow-wee.
So anyway,
let's go back to that one.
So what I'm doing is actually breaking down tension within tissue, right? If you think about muscle tissue, I always think of it like a suspension bridge. It's millions of just tiny little cables keeping everything together, right?
Okay.
These little fibers.
Yeah, and I kind of learned about this a little bit.
Fibers
in
attract and
biology.
They contract eccentrically and concentrically.
Yes.
And as you do this more and more, let's say you start overdoing it, they start to break off a little bit.
Okay.
And come back together. Nothing serious, not like a major tear. I wouldn't even call it that.
Yeah.
And they come back together in these sort of wonky, not so perfect parallel patterns.
That's what the knot is.
And get tensed up. That's what a knot is.
Wow.
By breaking that up, we can help them come together in a more parallel pattern again.
Interesting.
So that's a very simplistic way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And I say that for my audience because I'm not going to sit here and go through, sodium pumps and all the fun stuff that happens inside of the muscles, lactic acid buildup. We're going to ignore that stuff.
We're going to have like a physical therapy episode.
We can make a whole podcast on physical therapy.
That's it. Cool.
So... As you see, there's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
You have no idea what I'm transferring to your body. Energy, good vibes, whatever it may be. So really, for someone like me who's pretty skeptical of this, what's most likely happening is a placebo effect.
Okay.
However, people are claiming that they're getting better from this. Mm-hmm. So my other thought, and I say this whenever somebody comes to me with questions about Reiki or acupuncture or cupping therapy, which is like the new craze right now.
I got that done. It looked like an octopus attacked my back.
Yeah. I always say to them, there really isn't a lot of research out about this stuff. Yeah. And chi meridians, all of that stuff. There's no research. There's not much that
chi meridians.
So like chi in the body. You lived in Japan, right?
Okay.
You know what chi lines, meridian lines, things like that. People there are folks out there that work on those things.
I was like, you live in Japan. You should know everything about Japanese culture.
Yeah, exactly. You lived there for 3 years.
More than enough time.
Anyway, so there's not much actual research. And when I say research, I don't mean I found this on, howdoihealmybody.com. Mm-hmm. I don't mean things that an acupuncturist has told you. I'm talking about actual peer-reviewed research in a medical journal. Because that is the only way, for a Western medical mind like mine, this is the only way that I'm going to find this to be not complete BS. And that's how we're taught in school.
And when you do actual research,
you need research.
There's not much else other than articles.
Yeah, so
I find a lot of just articles.
If you're on livestrong.com, you're in the wrong place. If you're on the Journal of the American Medical Association, you're in a good place. It's got to be a peer-reviewed journal.
And it's not on there.
There are some things. I will say acupuncture is actually getting more and more research because it's becoming popularized in the U.S. And so acupuncture has shown to have some effects.
And I've gotten it before. That was one of the things I did get in Japan. And I would actually, and maybe this was a placebo effect, but the last couple times, and this is years ago now, it's been a long time since I've been there, but whenever I go and visit, I would immediately just get built up constipation real bad. It was a really hard time.
Before or after?
Right after the flight, and I'd get there. And I don't know why that would happen. Flying I'm always nervous. I'm like, oh man, I better poop now before I fly because I'm not going to poop forever. But I would always set up myself before I even got there because I got used to it, set myself up with a trip over to this acupuncture place I'd go to. Mm-hmm. They sit there and they would just massage the butt out of you. It was really great massage first. That's how I always saw it. It was acupuncture. You start off with really good massage, and then they do the acupuncture after you're loosened up.
Yeah.
And I would literally be on the train on the way home.
Yeah.
And I gotta go. I literally would feel it. You'd hear blah, 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 and they would know too. They'd be like, oh, you gotta poo now.
Yeah, there is something about acupuncture, and I haven't done enough research.
There's a place around the corner from here that I actually went to, and that was where I got the cupping done for the first time. I was
it's becoming more and more popular. Well, cupping's now being used in PT offices. Okay. PTs don't use acupuncture, but we do use something called dry needling. Mm-hmm. And it's actually not legal in the state of Pennsylvania, so I haven't learned how to do this.
I was going to be and you do it?
I don't. Although I have met some PTs in PA who do, claiming it's a gray area. But that's a whole different story.
Okay.
But it's not the same. Okay. So acupuncture is meant to hit those meridian lines and whatnot.
Okay.
Dry needling is actually meant. So again, let's talk about our crunched up tissue here.
Yeah.
Is I stick a needle in that tissue. The muscle's inclination is to wrap around it, and then you pull the needle out, and it relaxes. That's the idea. I've seen it used once or twice when I was
so the needle's going
in different clinics. Yeah, me as a therapist am putting a needle in there. Okay. It's different from an acupuncture needle. It's different from acupuncture altogether.
Okay.
It's totally different mindsets. But it's this in a patient's mind that's not true.
Okay.
They just see a needle and think acupuncture.
Okay.
Where was I? Where were we going with this?
Well, we're talking about acupuncture and so really the topic is touch therapy, but we're using this other stuff like acupuncture and other forms of healing to see there is evidence that other things do work.
Yes.
And maybe they don't show up in the journals online, but it's out there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm sorry, because my thought was really just kind of continuing on this recap.
Yeah. So essentially, you have things that are medically proven that work. You know, techniques that physical therapists use: soft tissue mobilization, joint mobilization, traction, things like that. Peer reviewed. You can find millions of articles about that stuff.
Yep.
Then you have things that have been around for a long time in Eastern medicine that are just breaking into the market now. Things like acupuncture.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have things that have kind of like this weird gray area. Okay. So I won't go much into this, but chiropractic care.
You've actually talked about this.
There's a lot of voodoo chiropractors, and there are a lot of really good chiropractors.
Okay.
So a lot of times what the problem is that they don't always stay in their lane, and they start doing things that they're not taught in school, or advertising things that they don't actually do. I've literally seen chiropractors that claim they cure cancer. So that's not true. Don't believe that. But there's little like
chiropractor, like somewhere like
not even that. There are big time.
There's one.
There are big time chiropractors
and they think
that
they
have
can cure cancer.
Have these practices that they do.
I'll just crack your back a couple times a week and
that's the other thing.
Cancer.
So I tell this to all of my patients is that so when somebody comes to me and says, you know, I do acupuncture, I do chiropractic care, I do this, I always ask, is it helping you? If they say yes, great. That's all I care about. But if you tell me you've been going to a chiropractor for years, that's a problem. Because most of the things they're working on, now this is not for everybody. Some people actually do need to be there for years if you have some kind of long-term chronic disorder. But if you're going to a chiropractor for things like stenosis, sciatica, those are things that a physical therapist can fix if you find a good PT that does hands-on manual therapy in just 2 months. Sometimes more. You know, 6 to 8 weeks is normal tissue healing. So that's usually where I start with patients. There are a lot of patients that I see longer than that time.
And then maybe not doing the exercises at home.
But there's always an end to that tunnel.
Yeah.
I never keep people forever.
And that's
the problem.
Is the money pit.
People go to their chiropractor 3 times a week. He's not getting you better. I'm telling you that right now. He is. If you're going to a chiropractor long term, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 3 times a week, 2 times a week, 1 time a week, he's not helping you get better. He's not. Yeah, he's doing a disservice.
So this whole touch therapy thing is like you're just sitting here going, stop this now. No.
so touch therapy falls into this same line. If somebody came to me and said they were doing touch therapy, I'm not going to outright tell them they're wrong.
No.
Unless they start asking me opinions, which does happen because people know that I am involved in these things. I hear, what I hear from patients, what I've seen, what I've read in literature, and will ask me, "What do you think of Reiki?" And I'll usually say to them, there's no research out there that proves that it works. There's very little research that proves that it works in the medical field. However, people do this and claim it's helping them. And so it could be placebo, or it could just be something we don't understand yet, which is fine.
So some of the things and I've showed you this before, and I gotta admit, I didn't really know that touch therapy was gonna be like this.
I know where
it's just kind of like the hovering.
Yeah.
But I think that there is definitely something out there that can help explain how this may help in other aspects, like PTSD, or maybe really is just getting through some pain, chronic pain. But I thought it would be more like touching. And I can totally understand how touch, just kind of being there and just kind of putting pressure on certain parts can help out, because that is a calming effect. And when you're in the right mindset, when something helps you, when you're healing, or say you're getting over something and you just got surgery done and you're really in a bad way, and they tell you you need to have positive vibes. You have to be in the mindset of, I got to get better. Having that physical touch sometimes helps. It's like premature babies.
Yes.
Premature babies, they tell you, touch that baby and be there and have that physical connection because it's going to help.
You're talking about the actual touching.
I was talking about the actual touch,
in
and maybe
general,
there is a transfer of energy. The fact that maybe your hands are warm, or maybe it's just that physical presence of just someone being there for you.
Yeah,
and maybe that has something to do with it.
So that realistically is the placebo effect. Is I believe this is going to work. Mm-hmm. In which case, if you truly believe it, you're going to feel something, right? Whether it's getting better or at least his hands, like I've heard with folks who've had Reiki done to them, is they feel how hot the person's hands are and the healing energy and all that stuff. That could just be your body telling you these things. Mm-hmm. So it's actually amazing what the human body can do. There's a really great TED Talk out there by, oh my God, his name, Dr. Lattimore. He's from Australia. Mm-hmm. So he does he talks a lot about pain science and how your brain kind of tells your body what it's feeling and how it's feeling it. So the story goes is he's walking through the woods one day. He's from Australia. They call it the bush, right? He's going to go swimming in the lake. Something brushes up against his leg. He thinks nothing of it, right? He goes swimming, whatever. Passes out. Wakes up in the hospital. Turns out he was bit by a brown snake.
He had no clue.
No idea. Poison, they get the poison out, whatever. Mm-hmm. So he talks about what happens in the brain while this is going on. He's like, something brushes against your leg. Goes up to the brain. The brain tells you this. You think back to memories of your past. Well, I used to walk through the bush all the time when I was a kid. It was just a twig brushing up against me.
Yeah.
Right? He goes deep into some of the anatomy stuff. Again, I'm going to make this simple. Right? So now here we are, week, 2 weeks, a month later, whatever. He's walking through the woods again. Something brushes up against his leg.
Oh my God, yes.
And he goes down like a ton of bricks. White hot pain searing through his leg. He doesn't know what to do. And his buddy looks at him and he says, it was just a twig brushing up against you. Your brain takes experiences, traumas, whatever it is from the past, and can, I hate using the word manifest because it makes it seem like your brain's the problem, and that's really not true. You're just hypersensitive to these things.
This is kind of like PTSD.
So like you said, a calming anxiety effect. So I do this with my patients is I talk them down. Is I see high level athletes who suddenly are like, I can't walk, I can't go to the gym, I can't drive, I don't know what to do. I'm sitting on the couch eating bonbons, and it's like, okay, relax. I don't say it like that, but I have to talk them through.
Chill.
Yeah, listen, and one thing I always say is when LeBron James gets hurt, right? He's athlete, top of his field, whatever. He doesn't go back out there. He sits on the sidelines and he waits till he's better. Right? It never helps to push through pain. It just doesn't. You need to be able to protect yourself.
Although, wasn't there that guy who broke his fingers or something and he still played football?
Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, it happens all the time. People who get hurt and hide their things. And sometimes, you know what? A lot of times that happens in the playoffs because this is it. This is it. You have no other choice. If it's the regular season, early in a season, take the time and rest. Let your team do the work. You'll be back in no time, but you need to rest.
Speaking of sports, because this is your domain, there was someone recently that had I think he just quit. I remember seeing it on TV or something, like football. He had a bunch of concussions or something, and he was like, okay, I'm out.
Are you thinking of Andrew Luck, maybe?
Maybe.
This football's tough because this is going to go way off into a tangent here.
Let's just do it.
Okay. So there's the concussion movie with Will Smith, which is very well done. It's how they discovered that these CTE, these concussive injuries are hurting players, and later in life their brains are breaking down at a much faster rate than the regular population. In the movie, he talks about how anytime a football player has hit somebody with their helmet, it's the equivalent of being hit with a sledgehammer.
Wow. So
now you have to think that these players are getting hit like this. How many times a game, a week, a practice, course of a lifetime?
Yeah.
They're doing irreparable damage to their brains.
Wow.
So a guy like that, if you're having that many concussions, it's time to hang it up. It stinks. It's horrible to see. But it's smarter to get out now while you still have your mind. Instead of, you see some guys by the time they retire, and they are nuts. Like, you just listen to them in interviews and whatnot, and it's like, what is he talking about? You're literally watching someone who's put all of their heart and soul and body and physical health on the field, and they're starting to lose it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, back to touch therapy.
Maybe TT can help.
So the other claim is that it cures cancer.
Oh my!
I've heard so many
this is
stories
where I'll be
about
like,
this.
no, come on.
If this could actually cure cancer, why don't you see it all over the place?
Like, you gotta have someone go out there and test it.
So, I don't know about the cancer thing, but I did find a study that was done in 1998 by the Journal of the American Medical Association, in which they took a number of touch therapists and blindfolded them. So one of the things with touch therapy is that they claim they can feel energy and whatever it is transferring between their hands and the body.
Yeah.
And so they blindfolded them and had them do their technique, but they couldn't tell if there was an arm or if there wasn't an arm, or whatever body part they were doing this with, right? If there was a body part or not underneath them. And
please tell me they like switched it and put like not.
Oh yeah, well it's
human body or something there.
That's what a study does.
Yeah.
They were unable to detect the presence or absence of a hand placed a few inches above theirs. There's no way they can tell if there's that. There's no transfer of energy of whatever they're trying to describe. It just doesn't exist. So when you're doing these things,
bombshell.
Yeah, the way I see it, and the way most of the medical
that's why you haven't seen it again.
That's it. Like, there's a study. Now, granted, you need more than just one study to disprove things, and I'm sure there's more out there. This has just happened to be what I found when I heard about the topic.
Yeah.
But if you look at that, I forgot where I was going. I forgot where my brain was moving.
Well, it was to talk about cancer and. Like, can you prove that, this can help cure cancer? Which you can't, because there is no transfer of energy.
Yeah.
So,
believe it or not.
I was going in as like, I want to defend this. This is good. This is going to be, I'm going to save the professions of so many people.
Yeah. No. So believe it or not, energy is bad for cancer.
Oh, stop that.
Because cancer is essentially rapidly growing cells.
Okay.
So if you add energy
this
to
isn't
that...
to say it's just like, you got some cancer over there. No, I'm sorry.
Again, there's
not enough energy.
There's no transfer of energy.
No transfer of energy.
Right? Well, this is not any type of modality.
Wait, what about those things that you take your phone and you can put it on a thing and your phone charges?
Okay, what about that?
Like, can we do that with each other?
With human bodies? Maybe one day.
Okay.
Maybe one day. Yeah, who knows what future technology we can create.
Oh, see.
That's different.
Okay.
That's not a physical human being, right? Yeah. This is not evolving to be able to, Iron Man your powers away.
Or we can't, like, have, like, the Star Trek thing where you're just, like, trying to, like, use, like, a device and you're just like this, like, okay, I healed your wound by rubbing this thing over you. That's essentially touch therapy only with a device.
I'm not familiar with Star Trek.
They just have like a thing where you literally just heal them by rubbing like something over.
Kind of like, did you watch The Mandalorian?
Not all the way.
Okay, so in the Star Wars world, there's like a spray. I'm guessing it's like the same, like
pretty much the same thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe one day that's gonna cause like cells to rapidly reform and grow and whatnot. But energy for cancer is bad, right? You don't want to add heat. So in physical therapy, we use I personally don't use these things because, again,
I thought heat was good.
Research does not show that they work. Ultrasound, electric stimulation, heat modalities, diathermy, which is almost like radiation therapy, laser therapy. Those are all things in the physical therapy realm, which, again, they do something. I didn't even get to masking pain receptors. That's
oh man.
Anyway, they do something, but there's not much recent proof that they are actually healing. There are certain things they're really good at doing, and in those cases, I use those things. If you come in with a whiplash and everything's really hypersensitive, I'm going to use electric stimulation because it's going to stimulate pain receptors and allow them to relax a little bit more.
Okay.
But That's it. It's not good for anything else. So
because I actually had that from one of my first PT experiences
for your back.
Remember?
Oh yeah,
Novacare or something, and like I first hurt my back, and it was so bad that I couldn't like move like without having to move my whole body because my whole back was super stiff. And so my job, because I did it on the job, they sent me over to get PT at some place called Novacare, and I went there, and they would tell you to do the stretches, but they weren't like hands-on. They weren't with you the whole time. And I actually did tell someone that like I just didn't feel like I was getting the right attention. And right at the end, even after the whole time where they're just like, I'm gonna go check on you in like 5 minutes, just go doing this, and I'll be right back. You think finally just sit you down on this thing. They'll put like a heat pad over you, but they also connect to a machine, which is zapping me, and that was it. Then I was out of there, and I thought that made me feel pretty good after, but then it would be back the next day.
Yeah, so those things don't have long-term effects. Yeah. I use heat with some of my patients because it helps relax them before I beat the snot out of them. That's what I like to say. Before I massage them. So I'm not here to badmouth any competition here. I work for Excel Physical Therapy just outside of Philadelphia. We're all over the southeastern PA region. I'm in the Ardmore office. I'm actually the director for that clinic. If you're looking for a PT, you don't have to go to us, but find somebody that does hands-on therapy. Forget the heat, the stim, all of that stuff. Throw it out the window because it's not going to help you. Find someone who does at least 20 minutes of hands-on manual therapy with you, and you're golden. Can't cure everything, but we're pretty darn good at fixing things that patients have come into me and said, I've had this pain for 20, 30 years, and we can make it go away.
I tried to look for you guys the second time that happened to me, but there wasn't anything like that was nearby. And you
had a workman's comp issue, too.
I did. Oh, you guys don't do that. But I did find somebody that ended up helping me.
With workman's comp, it really depends on your company. So Coca-Cola wouldn't allow you to
go to you guys.
That was the problem. We have a clinic actually very close to here.
For
Royersford. So if you ever need to go, I'll hook you up. I know the director there. He's
once in a while, my back hurts, but I do realize now after finally going to I did find somebody and he was great. And it was just me and him in the office.
Yeah, that one-on-one is fantastic. Where I can't speak for my competitors; they don't do one-on-one therapy.
But it's the stretches and the work you do at home too. Yeah. That was a big deal. Is like you have to make that part of your life. It's lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is slow.
So
write down lifestyle changes.
It's actually a really what you said is beautiful because it really ties into this really well. There's no magic bullet that will fix you. It's not like a medication. There's no magic bullet for a musculoskeletal issue. Touch therapy it's not going to do it. There's no proof that it works. What you're feeling could be a placebo, or like I said, maybe it's something we just don't understand yet, but there's just no proof that what happens is working or helping.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work to fix something. 2-3 sessions with even a physical therapist isn't going to get you anywhere. Like I said, normal tissue healing takes 6 to 8 weeks. For somebody with a chronic issue, it takes longer.
And if maybe you feel like you're doing those things and you want a little extra and you wanted to try out other medicine.
Like I said, I see patients who see their chiropractors, their acupuncturists, who do Reiki, do those things. And like I said, if it's helping you, keep doing it. I'm not here to break down your thoughts or feelings on why this thing works. So keep doing what you're doing if that's helping. But it shouldn't be a forever thing. A lot of this stuff can be fixed in a short-term period. The other problem is that PT can be a little bit more expensive compared to those things because you're coming in so frequently. But then after those few, let's say it's 2 months. That's it. No more. You don't have to come back to the chiropractor and pay your $30, whatever, 3 times a week anymore. You shouldn't need to go see anything else.
But you're supposed to try and save money.
Yeah. In the end, it stops you from going in for surgery. So things like that. Anyway, I think we went way off the topic.
I was just going to say,
I just ended up plugging my own clinic,
But I think it's good because here's real proven science, proven ways to help people get out of that chronic pain. But then there's also ways that this could possibly help. So I think what we want to do right now is maybe take a break.
I agree. Yes.
And maybe come up with a couple of things. I already do have something on here that I want to at least go read through.
Okay.
And we'll come back at the end, talk a little bit more about it,
research.
and do some research.
Woohoo! All right, guys, we'll be right back. Big spoon, little spoon.
Big spoon, little spoon.
Don't leave us.
Hi friends, I'm Nick Drago, host of Sports with Nick Drago. Are you looking for a podcast that's going to give you all the sports news and information and just have a lot of fun doing it? Well, this might be the one for you. Sports with Nick Drago. We're on every Sunday, and you can find us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter, and the YouTube. Just type in Sports with Nick Drago. That's me. We'll talk all about some sports. We'll have a little fun, maybe some laughs. You know how it goes. You can find us wherever you like to listen to your podcasts.
That was a good break.
Yeah, I feel well rested.
Yes, thanks for the massage.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yep. It worked because you know what? You were touching me.
I was touching you.
Yep.
So
we weren't just hovering.
Can we continue to disprove this just shortly? I know you
wanted to.
I know you wanted to defend this.
I really wanted to, and I really thought that in the heart of it all, maybe it was really good for placebo, and maybe that is. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
But in my research, and you delve further into it, and thanks for your help on showing me like some of these websites, PubMed and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Everything you can find, if it has a reference, and this is maybe what we should really kind of talk about when you guys do your own research, is look for the references.
Yeah.
If there's no references, that's an opinion piece.
Livestrong.com, healthmoms.org, like those are not things to find a reference.
Yeah.
Peer reviewed. So PubMed is really, really nice because it's a website designed to help you find peer reviewed articles.
Yeah.
Right now, so I actually found that article I had referenced on the JAMA Network, JAMA, which is the Journal of the American Medical Association.
I had seen that. Yeah.
So the conclusion of that article states this. So they're talking about. Wait, is this the right? Here we go. At the end of the article, they state that in 1996, the James Randi Educational Foundation offered $742,000 to anyone who could demonstrate an ability to detect an HEF, which is a human energy field, under conditions similar to those of that study, in which they were blindfolded, right? Although there are more than 40,000 American practitioners who claim to have such an ability, only one person attempted the demonstration and failed. That offer has been raised from $742,000 to $1.1 million. And this company...
That's a whole lot of cash.
This company has been extensively trying... At this time, again, this is 1998, but they were extensively trying to find volunteers for this study to do this.
So if you can prove that there's energy...
So if you could prove that you can detect an HEF,
yeah,
they were willing to offer you $1.1 million.
So what if you just found a way to put energy right in here, like no one knows?
Well, so if you could watch the people who do Tai Chi, maybe somebody once told me that there's a way to create an energy ball with your hands. It's the same idea. It's HEF, human energy fields.
I think that's really true. Now that's something
we're not batteries. I'm sorry. We're wired like computers.
I've been doing this for days.
Yeah, you're ready for a Kamehameha or something, right?
You remember in the volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxies where Peter Quill creates the little ball, and he's I was able to create a ball.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, yeah, exactly. Except he was an immortal being, or a god, whatever it was.
Half human.
We're humans.
Humans.
So, cool. Well,
and so one thing too
go right ahead.
is because I kept finding these articles and thinking, okay, this is cool. And of course, I'm not the best when it comes to doing research right off the bat. And there was one here from Psychology Today, right? but they referenced, which is cool. That's good. There's some stuff to look at that. And it talks about how healing touch and therapeutic touch for anxiety. And throughout the entire article, they were talking about how, like, oh, we've been doing, like, this has been going on for years with the therapeutic touch, and it really helps out people with chronic anxiety. I bet you that works for some, but in findings of 2 early studies using sham healers in a controlled group suggest that both contact and non-contact healing reduces state anxiety in patients hospitalized for heart problems. So I was like, okay, that's kind of neat. Maybe it does. You go down to those reference pages and you pop open a few of them, and then you see on there that there are no controlled studies done.
Yeah, they have the disclaimers at the bottom that basically say what you read is great, but we can't prove that what you read makes any sense at all.
Yes. So yeah, that helped out 2 people.
Kind of an open and shut case, if you ask me.
It kind of just killed it right there. Yeah. And like literally the whole break, I'm just like, there's got to be something.
And you know what? For those listening at home who are interested in this, if you find me peer-reviewed research, I will very happily look over it and discuss it, whatever it is. Email us. wehateforks@gmail.com. Yeah. I'm happy to have somebody change my mind.
Or just go and tell us what your experience was by getting it done.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something to learn just by someone who can just say, hey, I got this done. It made me feel such and such.
Yeah,
that's great
absolutely.
For you. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think that's all we have.
That's all we got today.
Cool. Yep. I'm good with that. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. You can find us on Facebook, Big Spoon, Little Spoon.
Yeah, and we can also be found on places like Podbean. Are we going to work on that Spotify thing?
Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio.
All those good ones.
All those good ones.
Yeah.
And then you can always email us at
wehateforks@gmail.com.
Woohoo!
And can't wait to see you guys next week for our next episode.
Yes, next episode.
Next
Can't
episode.
wait.
We're coming back.
See you then.
Bye.